The song sparrow is a medium-sized American sparrow. Among the native sparrows in North America, it is easily one of the most abundant, variable and adaptable species. Description: adult song sparrows have brown upper parts with dark streaks on the back and white underneath, with dark streaking in a dark brown spot in the middle of the breast. They have a brown cap and a long brown rounded tail. The face is gray with a streak through the eye. They are highly variable in size across numerous subspecies. The body length ranges from 11 to 18 centimeters and wingspan can range from 18 to 25.4 centimeters. Body mass ranges from 11.9 to 53 grams. The average of all races is 32 grams, but the widespread nominate subspecies weighs only about 22 grams on average. The maximum lifespan in the wild is 11.3 years. The eggs of the song sparrow are brown with greenish-white spots. Females lay 3 to 5 eggs per clutch, with an average incubation time of 13 to 15 days before hatching. In the field, they are most easily confused with the Lincoln's sparrow and the Savannah sparrow. The former can be recognized by its shorter, grayer tail and a differently patterned head, the brown cheeks forming a clear-cut angular patch. The Savannah sparrow has a forked tail and yellowish flecks on the face when seen up close. Distribution and life history. Though a habitat generalist, the song sparrow favors brushland and marshes, including salt marshes, across most of Canada and the United States. They also thrive in human-dominated areas such as in suburbs, agricultural fields, and along roadsides. Permanent residents of the southern half of the range. Northern populations of the song sparrow migrate to the southern United States or Mexico during winter and intermingle with the native, non-migratory population. The song sparrow is a very rare vagrant to Western Europe, with a few recorded in Great Britain and Norway. These birds forage on the ground, in shrubs, or in very shallow water. They mainly eat insects and seeds. Birds in salt marshes may also eat small crustaceans. They nest either in a sheltered location on the ground or in trees or shrubs. Physiology. The song sparrow has been the subject of several studies detailing the physiological reactions of bird species to conditions such as daylight length and differing climatic conditions. Most birds gain mass in the reproductive organs in response to some signal, either internal or external, as the breeding season approaches. The exact source of this signal varies from species to species. For some, it is an endogenous process separate from environmental cues, while other species require extensive external signals of changing daylight length and temperature before beginning to increase the mass of their reproductive organs. Male specimens of M. melodia gain significant testicular mass in response both to changes in the daily photoperiod and as a result of endogenous chemical signals. Females also undergo significant ovarian growth in response to both photoperiod and endogenous signals. In this way, M. melodia is amongst only a handful of birds that use both external and endogenous signaling to dictate the breeding season. Hormone levels in both males and females were found fluctuate throughout the breeding season, having very high levels in March and late April and then declining until May. These studies suggest that there are multiple factors at work that influence when and how the song sparrow breeds, other than just increasing day length. Due to the myriad subspecies of the song sparrow and the extremely varied climate of Southern California, where many of these subspecies make their homes, physiological studies were undertaken to determine how climatic conditions and local environment influence the bill size of melodious subspecies. The bill of a bird is highly important for thermoregulation, as the bare surface area makes a perfect place to radiate excess heat or absorb solar energy to maintain homeostasis. Knowing this, comparisons of bill length between individual song sparrows collected in different habitats were made with regard to the primary habitat type or microclimate that they were collected in. Larger beaked subspecies were strongly correlated with hotter microclimates, a correlation that follows from the conditions of Allen's rule. Song. The sparrow species derives its name from its colorful repertoire of songs. Enthusiasts report that one of the songs heard often in suburban locations closely resembles the opening four notes of Ludwig van Beethoven's Symphony No. 5. The male uses a fairly complex song to declare ownership of its territory and attract females. Singing itself consists of a combination of repeated notes, quickly passing isolated notes, and trills. The songs are very crisp, clear, and precise, making them easily distinguishable by human ears. A particular song is determined not only by pitch and rhythm but also by the timbre of the trills. Although one bird will know many songs, as many as 20 different tunes with as many as 1,000 improvised variations on the basic theme, unlike thrushes, the song sparrow usually repeats the same song many times before switching to a different song. Song sparrows typically learn the songs from a handful of other birds that have neighboring territories. They are most likely to learn songs that are shared in common between these neighbors. Ultimately, they will choose a territory close to or replacing the birds that they have learned from. This allows the song sparrows to address the neighbors with songs shared in common with those neighbors. It has been demonstrated that song sparrows are able to distinguish neighbors from strangers on the basis of song, and also that females are able to distinguish the mate's songs from those of other neighboring birds, and they prefer songs of neighboring birds to those of strangers. Predators and parasites. Common predators of the song sparrow include cats, hawks, and owls. However, snakes, dogs, and the American kestrel are treated ambiguously, suggesting that they are less of a threat. The song sparrow recognizes enemies by both instinctual and learned patterns, and adjusts its future behavior based on both its own experiences in encounters and from watching other birds interact with the enemies. Comparisons of experiments on hand-raised birds to observation of birds in the wild suggest that the fear of owls and hawks is instinctual, but fear of cats is learned. Song sparrows' nests are parasitized by the brown-headed cowbird. The cowbird's eggs closely resemble song sparrow's eggs, although the cowbird's eggs are slightly larger. Song sparrows recognize cowbirds as a threat and attack the cowbirds when they are near the nest. There is some evidence that this behavior is learned rather than instinctual. A more recent study found that the behavior of attacking female cowbirds near nests may actually attract cowbird parasitism because the female cowbirds use such behavior to identify female song sparrows that are more likely to successfully raise a cowbird chick. One study found that while cowbird parasitism did result in more nest failure, overall there were negligible effects on song sparrow populations when cowbirds were introduced to an island. The study pointed to a number of explanatory factors, including song sparrows raising multiple broods, and song sparrows' abilities to raise cowbird chicks with their own subspecies. The song sparrow is one of the birds with the most numerous subspecies in North America, and even on a global scale rivals such species as the horned lark, the yellow wagtail, the golden whistler, or the island thrush. 52 subspecies were named altogether, of which 24 are now considered valid. It is a cryptic species. Eastern group small, brownish, long-winged forms with strong black streaks. Melospism melodia. The nominate subspecies, eastern half of North American range except coastal areas south from New York State. In winter, they migrate southeastwards, very contrasting, very light with black streaks below, and gray margins to back feathers. This population includes the forms named as M. Juddy Bishop, 1896, Acadicothere and Bangs, 1914, Beatatod, 1930, Euphonia Wetmore, 1936, Kalima Oberholzer, 1974, and Melincra Oberholzer, 1974. Melospism melodia atlanticatod, 1924. Inhabits the Atlantic coast salt marshes from New York State southwards, does not migrate, differs from nominate by a gray back. Includes Racine Bailey, 1936, Melospism melodia Montana Henshaw, 1884. The subspecies west of Melodia to the Rocky Mountains. Some birds from the northern part of its range migrate to northwest Mexico in winter, similar to nominate but larger, duller coloration and more slender bill. Includes Fischerella Oberholzer, 1911. Northwestern group, large, dark, diffuse dark streaks. A study of mtDNA allism variation of most forms in this group concluded that they are of comparatively recent origin and that island populations are apparently derived independently from each other. Melospism melodia Maxima Gabrielson and Lincoln, 1951. Giant song sparrow. W. Aleutian Islands. Resident. The largest subspecies, about the size of the California towhee. Very gray overall, long, diffuse streaks, bill long and slender. Melospism melodia Sanica McGregor, 1901. Aleutian song sparrow. Aleutians from Seguam Island east to Stepovac Bay, Alaska, and islands to the south of Alaskan Peninsula. Resident. Similar to Maxima, gray still and bill even more slender. Includes the Semidi song sparrow, Semidensis Brooks, 1919, which may be a distinct subspecies however. Also includes the population from Amic Island named Amica Gabrielson and Lincoln, 1951, which was extirpated due to habitat destruction, apparently disappearing in the weeks around New Year's Eve. 1981. Melospism melodia insignis bird, 1869. Bischoff song sparrow. Kodiak, Afoniak, Sitklidak, and Raspberry Islands, and Kukok and Katmai on Alaska Peninsula. Many migrate south in winter. A darkish gray, medium-sized form. Melospism melodia Canances Ridgway, 1900. P. Kenai song sparrow. Resident, Pacific coast of Kenai Peninsula and Prince William Sound Islands, some resident, some migrant. Smaller and browner than insignis. Melospism melodia Corina Ridgway, 1899. Jakuta song sparrow. Northern Gulf of Alaska coast. Many migrate to Pacific Northwest in winter, a smaller version of Canances. Melospism melodia Rufina, Sooty song sparrow. Outer islands of Alexander Archipelago and Haida-Gwaii, most are resident. A very dark, rufous, and small form. Includes Quisacuming, 1933. Melospism melodia Morphner Oberholzer, 1899. Coastal region of central British Columbia south to NW Oregon. Resident. Lighter, more rufous than Rufina. Previously Cinerea Fia Fisher, 1902. A Central Oregon hybrids between this subspecies and Clinensis. Melospism melodia Merle Brewster, 1896. Occurs between the ranges of Morphner and Montana south to Nevada. Some migrate south in winter. Includes Ingersoll McGregor, 1899, and In Expectator Riley, 1911. Doubtfully distinct, intermediate between Morphna and Montana in appearance also and may be hybrid birds. Melospism melodia clearnensis McGregor, 1899. SW Oregon west of Cascade Mountains south to NW California. Brownish buffish, notably on the flanks, no gray on back, underside with somewhat diffuse chestnut streaks. Cismontane California group, small, well-marked and short-winged brownish forms. All resident, except occasional birds from upland populations. Melospism melodia Gouldy Bed, 1858. Coastal Central California, except San Francisco Bay. A very brown and clear-marked subspecies buffish fringes of upper back. Santa Cruz's Grinnell, 1901 are hybrids with birds from southwards and Central Valley populations. Melospism melodia Samuelus, San Pablo song sparrow. And San Francisco Bay and San Pablo Bay salt marshes. A small, tiny-billed subspecies with dirty olive upper part background. Melospism melodia maxillaris Grinnell, 1909. Sweetun song sparrow. Sweetun Bay marshes. Dark upper parts, brown with gray mantle edges. Plump bill base. Melospism melodia Pusillula Ridgeway, 1899. Alamed song sparrow. San Francisco Bay salt marshes. Yellowest subspecies, paler than Samuelus and clear yellow hue below. Melospism melodia Hermani Bed, 1858. Central Coastal California and Central Valley south to Baja California. Similar in color to Maxillaris but medium-sized mainland subspecies. Some NS variation with birds becoming blacker on backs. Local populations once separated as Quapri Ridgeway, 1899 and Maillard Grinnell, 1911. The latter, occurring around Modesto, may be distinct. Melospism melodia Gramenea Townsend, 1890. Described from Santa Barbara Island, California Channel Islands. A smaller, pale gray version of Hermani. Originally called Santa Barbara song sparrow, birds from the Coronado Islands were described as Coronatorum Grinnell and Daggett, 1903, those from San Miguel Island as Micronix Grinnell, 1928, and those from San Clemente, Santa Rosa and Anacapa Islands as Clementi Townsend, 1890. Hybrid population with Hermani on Santa Cruz Island. Extirpated on Santa Barbara by feral cats, c. 1967 to 1970. Southwestern group small, pale, streaks rufous, all resident. Melospism melodia Phylax, desert song sparrow. Sonoran and parts of Mojave deserts to Arizona. A pale ruddy desert form. Synonyms are Saltonus Grinnell, 1909, Virginus Marshall and Baylor, 1942, and Bendire Phillips, 1943. Melospism melodia Revularize Bryant, 1888. Central Baja California. Similar to Phylax, lightly streaked breast and long slender bill. Melospism melodia Goldmani Nelson, 1899. Not yet found outside El Salto area, Sierra Madre Oriental. Dark reddish-brown back with brownish streaks just as in Morphna. Mexican Plateau group black-spotted, white-throats, all resident. Melospism melodia Adusta Nelson, 1899. Rio Lerma drainage from Zacapu to Lago Uriria. Bold black pattern on belly and back, clear white throat. Birds become less ruddy brown going east. Melospism melodia Villa Phillips and Dickamin, 1957. Headwaters of Rio Lerma near Toluca, darker and duller brown than Adusta, distinctly large. Melospism melodia mexicana Ridgway, 1874. Hidalgo to Puebla, duller and paler than adusta, birds becoming grayish going south. Includes Azteca Dicamin, 1963 and Nicea Dicamin, 1963. Pectoralis cannot be assigned to a known song sparrow population. Conservation status. Seen as a whole, the song sparrow is widespread and common enough to be classified as species of least concern by the IUCN. The taxa Maillardi, Maxillaris, Samuelis, Pusillula, and Gramineae are listed as species of special concern in California.